So as I sit here right now, you're telling me that CF-47 has decided to fly in the El Salvadorian president to the White House so they both can sit down and discuss a couple of things. Their for-profit prison system that they're very excited about, heaven only knows what's happening down there, and the possible return of Garcia. Garcia, who was, by everybody's account, including the administration right now, illegally deported to El Salvador. They're going to discuss that. A man whom the Supreme Court has demanded he be returned. A facilitated return should happen due to the illegality of the actions of this administration. That's what's happening right now. And at the end of their little embarrassing, pathetic meeting, these two men have decided unequivocally, I say that wrong every time, unequivocally, that this man will not be released. This is what they've decided. One of two things are true, and I hope anybody who runs into CF-47 from now until the end of time says this. Either he is inept, ineffectual, soft piece of celery who can't negotiate with the president of El Salvador. You have no power with El Salvador. Is that it? If that's it, raise your hand, sir, and just cop to it. Or Garcia cannot be returned because you know he is no longer with us. And you, the weak, pathetic people you are too afraid to actually admit it. Which is it? I really want to know, and I want everybody and every concerned citizen in the United States should be asking this question again and again and again and again, because I'm going to say something to you. If they can do it to him, they can do it to anybody in the United States, citizen or not. All they have to say is, oh, we made an accident, our mistake. But you know, international law prohibits us from going in and pulling them back out. We can't do anything. Do you think that will stop? Do you think that will stop at his political enemies? Do you think that will stop with people he deems to be less than what he wants in his country? Because that's what you're allowing to happen. If you stop talking about it, if you stop pressuring it, if you stop screaming it from the rooftops, that is what he will utilize. This moment is what he will use in order to do it again and again and again. If you have a voice in the United States, you better be using it to scream at the top of your lungs. And if you come in contact with any of these pathetic individuals, that question better be the first question that's asked, because I'm telling you right now, this is the fundamental breaking point. Right now, it's not about tariffs. That's a distraction. It's about this. Disappearing innocent people who have the audacity to stand against that government.
I'm going to give my thoughts of what we can possibly do from here as a Democratic Party to stop this dangerous administration from destroying our democracy. But before I do, I just want to say I never wished for Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend's presence more than I did in that Oval Office with the El Salvadorian president. God, I wish he was there to ask why he wasn't wearing a suit and a tie. Where was he? I miss him. So in terms of going forward, first, the constitutional crisis that we're in, we're going to have to hope and pray that all of the attorneys who are filing suit to get these innocent people back to the United States push now to the point where the judges apply contempt of court charges, and aggressively so, to the point where they're arresting the United States attorneys. I mean, this is going to be huge. This is going to be huge. This is going to be critical. So we have that. On the other side is the Democratic Party. Do we have the possibility? We definitely have the possibility of flipping the House, but can we flip the Senate not only to a majority, but to a roughly 60%, 40% makeup, enough where we can get 2/3 of the Senate to vote our way for impeachment of the president and several other people in the administration. That's a possibility, but not likely. I do think it's a possibility to get the majority of Congress. And I think the last 2 years of his presidency, if we can flip governorships in red states, and there's, I believe, 2 or 3 states that have Republican governors whose seats we could flip. I think from the last 2 years, Democrats have to do everything at the state level. And the Congress has to amplify everything being done at the state level. Republicans have done it. We know everything going on by Republican governors in their red states. And we have to do the same. Obviously, with the focus of building a stronger democracy, restoring rights at the state level, helping the working class so that we can win the presidency in 2028 as well. That's how I see as the best scenario of what we can do from here. So yeah. But Marjorie, where's your boyfriend? Honey, where is he?
Tuesday morning, April 15th. About noon yesterday, we explicitly became a non-law abiding nation. And Donald Trump has also cratered our economy, cratered our global trade relations with our allies, destroyed all of our relationships with our allies, undermined NATO. It's got the entire population of Canada furious with us. And apparently our only 2 allies now are El Salvador and Russia. So if you were going to try to undermine American democracy and bring America down a few notches, I can't think of a better way to do it than that. All right. I hate when people try to get into the random storefront that I'm standing in front of. But anyway, I saw somebody post a thing this morning that if Donald Trump had accidentally deported a pardoned January 6th defendant to that prison in El Salvador, do you think he'd be going on television and saying there's nothing I can do to get that person back? No. Anyway, I'm freaked out today. I'm freaked out about what happened yesterday, what it means, and the fact that more people are not freaked out by that. And I've tried to make a dozen or so TikToks this morning, and it's just not working. It's just not working. So I don't know that a lot of people really actually grasp what occurred yesterday and what it means. But they will a decade from now or 50 years from now. So that's cool. But anyway, fortunately, I have a massive writing project to do today. And so I'm going to be scarce on social media because, we are now an explicitly authoritarian fascist government that's going to deport our own citizens to a hellhole prison in a foreign country. But I still have this thing that I have to write. So I'm going to go do that. And, whatever, man. I guess we'll see what happens. going to be a lot of protesting in our future. I can tell you that much. I'll be at every fucking one of them.
Just a quick heads up about what we're dealing with here. Sociopaths don't have empathy. They don't have remorse. They do not take responsibility for their actions. They don't have the normal workings inside their brain. The only time they feel any kind of pain or feel bad is when something happens to them. That's it. They deny the truth. Any kind of accusations towards them is usually met with revenge of some sort, even though the accusations most likely are true. But the lack of empathy and the lack of remorse is the oddest part about it. They don't care. I guess plain and simple. They can't, because they don't have that in their brains. Whatever that is, they don't have it. So, we are dealing with not just one of them, but quite a few. Proceed accordingly.
We have some dramatic news. Donald Trump is back at it. This time, he's after the U.S. embassies. 30 new U.S. embassies and consulates could be shut down under the administration of Donald Trump. France, Germany, or even the UK could be gone. Key spots like Somalia, maybe Syria, and maybe Yemen, all part of a $30 billion budget cut to the State Department. Now, he's saying it's all about saving money, but let's be real for a second. Slashing American presence around the world doesn't just cut cost, it also cuts influence, and it cuts security and sends a colossal message to the world telling them that they are stepping back. Now, here's the $1 million question. Is Donald Trump reshaping the foreign policy or just burning bridges with the world? Follow me for more, and I'll try to keep you ahead of the crowd. Thank you.
So the Department of Homeland Security sent an email to a U.S. citizen asking them to leave the country. This woman is a civil rights attorney in Massachusetts, and the Department of Homeland Security sent her a message saying that her status has been revoked and she needs to self-deport. She's assuming that this is an error because she's a U.S. citizen, and she's on all the news circuits talking about it, but no one from DHS has gotten back to her. So what happens when they round somebody like her up without due process? Yeah, that's called taking a U.S. citizen and putting them in a concentration camp outside of the United States. That's how it happens. The Department of Homeland Security has not admitted anything at this point. They're not even telling her this wasn't meant for you. So they haven't responded. So when we talk about the fact that when you deny people due process, it puts U.S. citizens at risk, this is what we're talking about. This is a U.S. citizen who received an email. We assume an error because she's a U.S. citizen, but no one's following up with her about it.
Right now, living in the United States, it really feels like we are surrounded by a bunch of adults who grew up getting participation trophies and didn't have to do any real fucking work to get to where they are today. That a bunch of parents paid for their kids to be on the top baseball team, and they didn't do the fucking work to get there. And then they end up bringing the rest of the team down because of their entitlement, because they didn't work hard to get to where they are. They were just simply placed there because mommy and daddy thought that it would be good for them, told them they were the best at everything they did, paid their way through life. And now, when they are faced with real life and real consequences, they don't know what to do. Okay? Because they didn't do actual work to get to where they are today. They had other people coddle them. Other people let their bullshit slide for way too long. Because China really has said, hold my fucking beer. We do not need you. Okay? Both imports and exports are going to be crippled when it comes to this trade war with China. They don't need us. And that is not being unpatriotic and mean I hate this country because I am saying that. It's because I'm a realist. And facts are facts. And I know facts offend some of you guys. But they do not need us as much as we need them. And that is a fact.
This is the worst moment in the Trump administration so far, and there are a lot of contenders, but this one is the worst. And it's the worst one yet because it's a direct attack on what makes America so great. We were founded on the checks and balances of the executive, legislative, and judicial branches of this country, and Donald Trump ignoring the Supreme Court to correct his own error, deporting an innocent man, is a very dangerous precedent. And the scariest part of this is that it really comes down to us to stop him, because if the Supreme Court isn't going to do it, it's really up to people in this country letting him know that this is not okay. And not just Democrats, not just people who lean to the left, people in the middle and people on the right who can look at this objectively and go, this is wrong. And if you're in the middle or on the right and you're not convinced, the fact that Donald Trump wants to send natural-born Americans to these El Salvadorian prisons should probably wake you up to the reality that he's trying to create in this country. This is the first moment in Trump's second term where I've actually been scared of what he's doing, because this is unprecedented territory, even for Donald Trump, and that is saying something. He is sending his darkest message yet, which essentially amounts to, if you don't agree with me, you might be in trouble for it.
I am lucky enough that I do have the financial privilege to do this, but leaving is not an option for me. For me, leaving is giving up and abandoning my fellow Americans. I look at history and I know that it repeats itself. We all know that. And I think about the other helpers that have always been there, and I know that I can be a helper now too. I think about slavery in the United States, and I think about how we banded together, white people, African Americans, people who had just recently immigrated from European nations, men, women, children, who were all working together to build and create this system that became known as the Underground Railroad, which helped many, many enslaved people escape to the north and reach freedom. Even the most white and upper class of Americans during this time could face fines, could face violence from their neighbors, could also face imprisonment. But they persevered, just like they did in another time where crimes against humanity were being committed, the Holocaust. People hid the Jews and others who were being persecuted in the Holocaust in their attics and basements and barns. They broke the law and defied orders from their government to again save their fellow human. And eventually, though it was violent, the world came together to fight anywhere where the Nazis had hold of power. In both of these instances, imagine if the helpers had not stayed. I sit here in my privilege every day, a white, upper middle class woman in the United States of America who has had the privilege of attending higher education institutions, who has the privilege of having a platform. And if I told you to run, or I ran myself, then what a waste of privilege is that?
We should all care about each other regardless of who we voted for. I'm sorry. I hope you guys can be better people. Good luck to you guys.
Yeah, you're only saying that because you're losing your business because you voted for Donald Trump. We should all care about each other. Who specifically were you caring about other than yourself when you cast your vote for Donald Trump? The fact of the matter is you voted for Donald Trump because you thought all of the things that are happening to you were just going to happen to other people. And now you sit here saying we should all care about each other. You're upset that people have come onto the internet to express their opinions about you when you got on the internet and said, I am a Trump voter who is losing his business, and you literally asked for these people to respond. And when they do, you're upset about that, when the whole reason you did it was to get a lot of views and likes and clicks to promote your business, which is failing. And now you're upset that you got exactly what you wanted, which is ironic because you're also upset you voted for Trump. We all have our own experience with Donald Trump. Personally, I watched hundreds of businesses and tens of thousands of jobs in my industry disappear because Donald Trump crashed the global oil and gas market. That's in his first administration, okay? I watched that, and then I watched him convince people in the oil and gas industry that he was the best thing ever for them and that we were going to drill, baby, drill. What's happening to those people right now? A lot of people in this country are going to be negatively impacted by this presidency. Not just you. A lot of people are going to be negatively impacted much worse than you. People are going to lose their lives in El Salvadorian prisons. And you think we're worried about your rims business? I can't predict what you will lose under this administration, but I can tell you this, you're probably not going to end up in a foreign prison somewhere because you have the one thing going for you those people don't. That pretty white skin. Yeah. So what's the problem? You're going to be fine. But the fact that you would ask for sympathy from people who are witnessing other people go through things 1,000 times worse than you when you literally voted for what is happening to you, and you expect Americans to give you some kind of sympathy, is just on a level I can't even imagine. I'm sure all this tariff thing will go away probably within the next week, and you'll be back to selling your rims. I mean, thank God, right? I mean, there's nothing more important than your rims. You say we should all care about each other. I don't want anything to happen to you. With that being said, I'm certainly not going to feel sorry for you because you made your choices. You made your bed, now you have to lie in it. I don't have to feel sorry for you. Certainly doesn't mean I want something bad to happen to you. That is just karma, doing what karma does. Thanks.
First of all, let me just say that I hope this video ages like shit, okay? I hope that I am wrong. But the United States executive branch is not going to let those men in El Salvador come home, ever, ever. My guess is that they are probably not alive and that they have not been alive for a while now. But just in case they are still breathing, they will never, ever, ever be allowed back in this country. They won't be allowed ever in front of a camera or a microphone. There is no way that anyone is going to let them tell their story. There is no way that anyone is going to let them talk about the conditions inside of that place. It's not going to happen. Those men are gone. It's horrendous. But they are gone. And you will see excuse after excuse after excuse from the executive branch on why they can't come home. That's just reality.
Good morning. Huge shout out to Harvard University for standing up to the Trump administration yesterday and refusing to submit to their demands. Even though Trump has now decided to withhold $2.2 billion in funding from the university because they will not bend the knee, I think it's great that they are standing up for their principles, their morals, and their values. I'm sure this will probably go to court, and the university will likely win, like every other case that has happened against Trump, because he's such a loser. But I think it's a great thing, and unfortunately, many before the university did not follow suit or did not set a precedent. So I guess Harvard is the one that's doing that, which I think is awesome, and hopefully other industries and facilities will do the same thing, because this is absolute bullshit. He has no right to dictate to businesses, universities, industries, what they can and cannot do because of their Christian values, their DEI policies, their LGBTQ plus policies. So good for you, Harvard. I am thrilled that you did this. I say take his fat ass to court, sue him for the funding, which we all know you will win. Whether or not he actually hands it over is another thing, because he seems to be defying every court order that happens to come down against him. But it's a start. It's a start. Nobody can put up with this tyranny. Nobody should put up with this tyranny. Nobody has to put up with this tyranny. This man needs to be thrown behind bars himself. He's got a lot of fucking nerve. Talking about shipping off criminals to El Salvador. People that aren't even criminals, really, but he's calling them criminals. Sending them off to El Salvador to get them out of the country. When he is one of the worst criminals going. He is the one that should be shipped over to fucking El Salvador and thrown behind bars. What a hypocritical SOB he is. I am so sick and tired of listening to his garbage on a daily basis.
Now look at this. The El Salvadorian president flew way over here to the United States by himself just to let us know that that man ain't coming back. That he will not bring him back, that he is not coming back. Just stop talking about it. That it ain't happening. And there ain't shit we can do about it, ain't shit you can do about it. Just to chill out. And it is what it is. He didn't answer no questions about him being unalived, about his health, about letters, about nothing. And Trump let us know also that we could be next. No due process, no nothing. You fuck up, you do something heinous, that you will not be seeing no judge, that you will not be seeing no jury, but you will be seeing airplane. And they got a cell for you with about 32 other dudes over there, and you won't see a piece of meat. You won't see no yard. You won't have a phone call, a letter, none of that. So he just put everybody on notice that it is what it is. They're gonna do what they're gonna do, and it ain't pretty much shit that we can do about it. So that was our notice, I guess. He just put all of us on notice. So y'all better be straight. Be straight.
I voted for Trump 2 times. I probably will vote for him a 3rd time. I will vote for him a 3rd time.
You don't say.
I am a small business owner who is completely getting rocked by the import taxes, the tariffs.
Right.
I went from a 2.5% import tax to 28.5%.
Okay.
That is absurd. It is ridiculous. It is crippling my business. I am barely surviving for the past 8 years. Was hoping that the current administration, since they greatly disapproved of increase.
Whoa, 8 years. Do the math. 4 years back, that was the beginning of Biden. 4 years back. So what I hear you saying is 8 years, you mean when Trump took office and put in the tariffs on China that Biden kept. Do carry on.
Increasing the tax from overseas was going to do away with them, but they have not.
The one that Trump put in? I'm confused.
And now I'm reading that Trump is going to increase the tariffs, if he takes office, 60 to 100% additional on goods from China.
Right. Which, by what you've said, seems to indicate it would have crippled your business. Yes? Yes?
As well as 10% on any other country that you import from.
Right. So, okay. Wait, I'm sorry. You've been crippled by the small tariffs that Trump put in and that Biden kept, so you are gonna vote for him again for the bigger tariffs because... Wait. Let's see if he's changed his mind. Like, let's see how he's feeling today. Okay, today.
All right, I hate asking for help. I'm not asking for any handouts, but I'm a small business owner that is directly being affected by the 104% tariff that has been put on China. I import alloy wheels for cars, and I do somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 to 15 containers a year, which is a small business in regards to this industry. At 104%, I am absolutely going to implode and will not last 6 months.
I'm sorry. And I'm gonna need you to stop there. Hang on, let's go back.
At 104%, I am absolutely going to implode and will not last 6 months. So with that said, I'm asking, is there anybody out there that has connections with manufacturing facilities, specifically alloy wheels, either in the United States or outside in these lesser tariffed countries like Mexico, Indonesia, Thailand, India? I need to find another source. I've emailed a lot of these companies and cannot get a response. And I just don't know if it's because I'm a small business or what exactly it is. So if anybody's out there that can help or shed some light, maybe provide some information that would be helpful, I would really greatly appreciate it, because if not, it's just a small business here that's going to go under, and I'll be back to digging ditches again, which I'm not scared to do, but it's a little harder to do with a wife, 2 kids, and at 45 years old. So
I'm sorry. I can't. Hang on. I'm sorry. I gotta take a minute. Just. When you lay it out like that, chronologically so close together, the inconsistencies, they just pop up. You know, this is one of the things I find fault with binge culture for. You know, you get a Netflix show that comes out, and normally all of those episodes would have been strung out, right? And writers would have been writing them week to week, right? And sometimes there's little inconsistencies, but you can largely kind of gloss over them with the thought process that, like, yeah, there's some time. You know, writers are just doing their thing. And sometimes they gotta make a thing happen. Whatever, it's fine. But when you watch all the episodes together, the inconsistencies, they just go boop, boop. Wait a minute, 3 episodes back, you said, and I know, because I heard you say it. Social media allows us to literally binge people's lives and find the inconsistencies. No wonder we have a reality TV show host as a president. Anyway, to that bro, I gotta say, bro, what? Are you dumb? Dude, I'm sorry, I can't make sense of this. I don't understand your rationale. You were hurting? Okay. Trump put in tariffs when he came into office on China and Chinese products, and particularly agriculture, which devastated our farms and cost us billions of dollars because the government had to bail them out. Right. Okay. You were hurting under those. Right. And Biden kept them, and you were mad about that. And I totally get it. I don't like Biden keeping anything of Trump at all, and I totally get that. But wasn't he your guy that you voted for? Right, so you're mad that Biden kept the tariffs, right? And you're hurting under those, so you voted for the guy that put them in. Even though he was saying he was going to lift them. Okay, wait. And then he did. And you're trying to find a way out. I don't want this consequence.
Alright guys, thank you for watching. If you made it this far, thank you. I really appreciate it. All your support. Please, the best donation that you can give me is a thumbs up and comments below and subscribing to the channel. Thank you very much, and see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.